Hey there, guys. This is Slamzeron, aka YouTube's Tasuke, and wow, I was not expecting that at all. Partially because another company was already doing it, but if you haven't heard, uh, Tecmo Koei recently announced that they are doing a new Samurai Warriors game, uh, based around the character Sanada Yukimura, or Yukimura Sanada, depending on what you like to call him. I don't give a fuck, because this game looks fucking awesome. Really, really cool. And it seems like it's going to be probably, in my opinion, the biggest and the most ambitious Samurai Warrior slash Warriors game to date. I was about to say ever. I don't know if that's going to necessarily be true because we are in the wake of the Berserk one, as well as Dragon Quest Heroes 2, which I feel like Quest Heroes 2 in particular um, is doing some stuff similar to this one. And I found that the Warriors games tend to can sort of build off of each other, and the non Dynasty and Samurai Warriors ones are a good way for Tecmo Koei to sort of like try out different things with different franchises and see so that they can kind of test the waters and possibly use them for like other like their main games. And this game here kind of goes into that a little bit, if you think about it, even though the game in question that I would really compare it to hasn't even come out yet. But as far as I'll have to look into that. But yeah, anyway, this game, it's a Samurai Warriors game that um, is focused on the life and history of Sanada Yukimura. In fact, I believe it's called Samurai Warriors Sanada Maru, though I guess technically Sengoku Muso Sanada Maru. Though the Siliconera article that I first saw and read, they call it Samurai Warriors Sanada Maru, I believe, which makes things a lot simpler. I don't even know what Maru means in this context or any context, but it's definitely pretty cool sounding. Um, I guess to start off with, the first thing you will notice if you've clicked on the link, which you definitely should, or if you're looking at the picture, you'll notice that Yukimura looks different. He looks older, and he looks fucking badass with that beard. He looks so cool. And I like how you can see more of his muscles, so he looks all swollen shit, and he looks awesome. He's all like, I'm a man. And he's got longer hair, and he's got that beard. He just looks really cool, and he has a cape. He just looks awesome. He looks so fucking cool. And Takeshi Kusao is still voicing this older version, and I hope he does a lower voice or something to make him sound older, because I think that would be really cool. And the man behind him, I believe, is Masayuki Sanada, an older version of Masayuki Sanada, who is Yukimura's dad. Um, though it's kind of conjecture. I think they do show Masayuki in the article, and it's a younger version of him. Uh, and so because of that, I'm not entirely sure. It kind of looks like him to me because one, the hat's similar. Two, he's got the shoulder pad. Uh, and three, the apparent polearm weapon that's behind him in the image. Because Masayuki is shown using a polearm, like a halberd or something, which is basically the Sanada family flag wrapped around a halberd. Or he took the flag and stuck a halberd head on top of it. So, if you want to talk about being the basic symbol of the Sanada family, Masayuki is definitely that. And I think currently he's the eldest member of the family, the eldest of like the actual named characters. Because remember, he's technically been in every single Samurai Warriors game, just as a non-actual like unique character. Because they do that, and that's actually kind of cool. And that's one thing that's pretty cool about the Samurai Warriors game, at least going on from 4, because they include character creation, and the base game. The non-unique characters actually look unique because they use the custom parts from the custom mode, and so that's actually kind of cool how they have their little different designs. In fact, I noticed in Samurai Warriors 4 Empires, I have Masayuki on my team, and he actually looks pretty similar to how he would look in this older version. I think the main difference is that his beard and hair was white as opposed to black. And I actually think he looks a lot cooler here than he does in Samurai Warriors 4 Empires, or at least that version. For all I know, it could be completely random. I don't think it's entirely randomized because it seems a little too coincidental that he would have this that same kind of type of hat, because the hat looks very similar. But those are the only characters we know so far. And again, as far as I know, the person behind Yukimura in the image I'm showing you for this video could be someone different. I suspect that it is Masayuki because, again, it looks really similar. But on that note, it's actually kind of cool that we're getting like older versions of the characters. It going back to the whole ambitious side of this game and bringing and like testing the waters of new features that may be used in other games. Maybe this could be a thing where like as the story progresses in like the story mode of like let's say Samurai Warriors 5, maybe the characters get older. Oh, that'd be really cool. Like any character that's still alive gets older, provided they get actually older, because some of these characters die pretty young. Speaking of age, they do show the child version of Yukimura from Samurai Warriors 4 with like the wooden version of his spear, and based on the screenshots, it looks like he's actually going to be playable, which is kind of cool. It's actually kind of cool, and I imagine the Samurai Warriors 4 version of just basic Yukimura is probably gonna be in it as well, probably for a lot of the time as well, depending on how far back they go into the history. So yeah, I really like the idea of like the aging characters, and I imagine Nobuyuki's gonna be in it, who is Yukimura's brother. Hopefully, some other unique characters that we haven't seen before. Again, technically, they've all been in the Samurai Warriors games, but several of them, if not nearly all of them, haven't been like unique characters. Heck, it took us until Samurai Warriors 4 to even get so much as a relative of Yukimura as like an actual unique character, Nobuyuki, who looks pretty unique on his own anyway. Like Masayuki, he looks closer to Yukimura than Nobuyuki does, which I imagine is deliberate. But yeah, it's gonna be cool to see who all shows up in this game, and I imagine other characters that the Sanada family opposes will show up. In terms of the battles, it will be mostly your typical Samurai Warriors, Dynasty Warriors-esque battle system, with like the big scale battles with all the enemies and whatnot. Though it sounds like it's going to be a lot larger. Like in the story modes of the previous game, it's usually been like one battle, then the next chapter, then a battle, then the next chapter. Where here it sounds like it's going to be multiple battles before the next chapter, possibly even like one giant field that goes across, several named battles or historical battles. Or maybe just one large field. I don't think it's going to be like that. That's one of the things I'm a little confused about. On the podcast, I brought that up. I don't think it's going to be a large field. Of course, again, like there's a lot we don't know because we haven't really seen actual like gameplay, like in action. There's a lot that we don't really know without really assuming. And like my thing with Masayuki, for me, it's conjecture. So, but definitely there's still going to be the long scale battles. In addition to that, the towns are going to have a lot of activities. You can interact with other members of the Sanada family and the Sanada army. Based on what the article on Siliconera says, you can access the other game modes within the town, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what they do with the menus, because it sounds like the menus are actually going to be part of like the game. Like when you actually turn on the game and go to the start menu, it might start you off at the castle. I guess it would be kind of like one of those games like I don't know, the Anniversary Collection of the original Mega Man kind of did this on the PS2 and the GameCube, where the menu you could like walk around as Mega Man, and I think you could jump as well and stuff like that. I don't think you can jump, but sort of like that, where it feels like you're playing the game while you're going through the menus, or maybe it's just like an actual menu within the game. It's just like the in-game menu as opposed to like the pre-game menu, if that makes any sense. But also, and you can kind of see this a little bit from Tokiden 2, which is, for those of you who don't know, Tokiden is the franchise that's sort of like Tecmo Koei's answer to Monster Hunter. And personally, I would argue, based on the demo that I played on my PS4, that Tokiden 2 is trying to be more like Dragon's Dogma than Monster Hunter. But basically in that game, when you go outside of town, there's like a giant open field and you can like kill stuff in. It seems like um, based on what we've read, that this game will also be doing that, and you'll be able to do little quests and like get treasure and items. You can also fight people. So this game's fighting arena, for lack of a better word, is going to be huge. It's going to be friggin' huge. It's almost going to be like, fighting in Skyrim or something like that, where you can do the fighting outside of like the regular battle and outside of town. That's actually really cool, and it makes it feel more like a open world RPG. And because of that, I will say one thing that I hope they do is let you make like an avatar, like let you make a character for yourself if you're expected to not play as any of the other characters, or even like if you can't. I don't know. I imagine probably not, just because this game is kind of historical. But yeah, this game is gonna have a giant fucking overworld like thing where you can fight in, um, which doesn't sound necessarily that big of a deal, just because technically the Warriors games have kind of done that. But it's gonna be like fighting on the world map, which is fucking awesome. The game's probably gonna be really seamless too, which the series has already been kind of doing a little bit anyway. And I imagine this is gonna be based on Samurai Warriors 4, so the strong attack will be sort of like that dash thing, which I've become a pretty big fan of. But let's see what else. I can't think of anything else that they mentioned in the article. I don't think they mentioned anything else. I'm gonna quickly look while I talk to you guys about how awesome this game is going to fucking be. It looks really cool. I'm actually really excited about this. It's coming out for PS4 and PS3 and the Vita. I'm definitely getting this game for PS4. I really hope it comes out in English. There's a chance it might. I don't. Well, no, never mind. I think it probably will come out in English. It definitely is gonna be really really cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all they explain. I'm looking through the article, and actually, yeah, he does look. The guy looks a heck of a lot like. Of course, his hair is. Yeah, it's actually kind of hard to tell. I should note that there's going to be a live. I think I mentioned it already. There's going to be a live stream on Nico Nico at like August 4th at like 8 p.m. Japan Standard Time. So hopefully there'll be a lot of information there. Yeah, this game looks friggin' awesome. It's kind of funny though, because when Sengoku Basara announced that they were doing one, I'm like, I didn't care as much. But now that friggin' Samurai Warriors, that's so petty too. Like, oh, because Samurai Warriors is doing it, now I'm interested. But it's no secret as far as I know, and you guys can correct me if I haven't said anything. But I prefer Samurai Warriors over Sengoku Basara from what little I've seen of Sengoku Basara. I feel like Samurai Warriors, it tries to be like an act. They obviously take some liberties. They kind of have to, or not necessarily have to, but they do. And I like the more sort of non-anime sort of approach to it. I've played a little bit of one of the Sengoku Basara games, and it played fine. It definitely plays a lot like a Warriors game, and I think that's what they were going for. And I think it's more probably just because of the anime, and I know the anime was super popular, but Yukimura Sanada is definitely one of my favorites, if not my all-time favorite Samurai Warriors character. And it's kind of a joke, though. Bit of a meme among my friends. And the thing is, the reason why is because when Warriors Orochi 3 came out, it came out when like Nick, AJ, and I were all going off to college and doing our own thing. So we played a little bit together, but I decided I would play a bit on my own as well at college so I could unlock everything. And when I got Yukimura, like, damn, he played really well. His combos were really good. He played a lot. He played very well. I actually prefer him over Zhao Yun. And even though I think most people who know me would probably expect me to be more of a Dynasty Warriors kind of guy, I feel like I'm starting to lean a little bit more towards Samurai Warriors. But I mean, I like the entire series. If anything, I wish they would do a Warriors Orochi Empires. That'd be great. Let you use everybody. But yeah, and I think part of it is because most of the Warriors games I've been playing have been either the anime-inspired ones or the non-Warriors franchise ones or Samurai Warriors. Like the last game of Dynasty Warriors I got was Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. I think that's been the last one, though, so I guess that doesn't necessarily count as like me being like, that's the only one I've played in years. Meh, meh, meh. Um, but yeah, so Yukimura, like once I played as him, and it was funny because I had played Samurai Warriors 3 beforehand on the Wii. Uh, and I don't remember. I think I might have skipped over him in that one because I don't remember playing as him that much. But I definitely prefer him, both as a poster boy and a character, and as a character to play as over Zhao Yun, because I don't like the way how Zhao Yun's spear kind of. It's almost like they call it the dragon tail, and it's literally like you're hitting people with a dragon tail. How it kind of curves and whatnot. It's okay, but I do prefer Yukimura in terms of his play style, even though they're supposed to be pretty similar. But yeah, this game looks friggin' awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. Um, it's gonna be pretty cool. The reason I've kind of calmed down on the podcast, I was kind of hyped for it, and when I first saw it, I was super hyped for it. Almost sort of like a weird, sort of like Shenmue 3-esque kind of experience, except with a franchise that I'm more familiar with. Um, so much so that like I got like hyped for it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play. Like I'm actually been playing Samurai Warriors 4 in preparation for this bad boy. Kind of like how I've been, watching the new Berserk anime in preparation for the new one. And I've been in a Dragon Ball mood lately in preparation for Xenoverse 2, which I'm going to talk about the latest stuff soon. But, yeah, like, I've kind of calmed down a bit. Things have kind of sunk in a little bit. And it's kind of funny because I wasn't expecting Koei to make this game at all. Like, it's kind of funny how after Sengoku Basara, like was make one. I was almost expecting them to, but I figure like, oh no, they're above sort of like copying someone else. But then they decide to make one, and it's kind of funny how I just say like they're above copying something as if like even thinking about this is a bad idea. Yet I'm excited for it. I'm weird, but yeah, this game looks fucking hype. It looks awesome. If the if the Sengoku Basara one comes out, it'll be interesting to kind of compare the two. Because I feel like Sengoku Basara is and people can correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like it was trying to be like it seemed like it was trying to tell its own story and kind of play with Japanese history a little bit, maybe. I don't know about the games, but the anime seemed that way. Because based on Samurai Wars, it didn't seem like Yukimura Sanada and Masamune Date were even remotely friends. They might have known of each other, but I don't think they were necessarily friends. But yeah, this game looks really cool, and I'm definitely gonna play it. It's gonna be awesome if it comes out in English. At least I'll. If it doesn't come out in English, I probably won't play it because I'm not really one for importing the Warriors games. I'm pretty picky with what series I import. It really depends on how much I'm interested in a series or what that specific game has to offer. And this one might be import worthy, but we'll see. Hopefully, it'll come out in English so where I won't really have to. And I think some people expect this one to come out in English over Sengoku Basara, The Legend of the Sanada, but we'll see. So yeah, I've recorded this several times, so hopefully this one will be okay. But yeah, this is Flames Veronica Sasuke signing out. See you guys later with the Sanada family. Yeah.